Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome to today's ISL Podcast, where we talk about certain issues of our modern life or modern society. So I have here our co-moderator, Teacher Davis, and then we have a guest teacher. We have Teacher Ola, and then the usual members of the speaking club. Got Mina, Honey, LJ, Leon, and Ula. So once again, good afternoon. Today's topic, we're gonna look at your opinion on this particular matter. Multinational corporations have caused small and local businesses to struggle. First, I'd like to move on to Teacher Davis on what he thinks. Then afterwards, I'm gonna move on to anyone who would like to share their opinion. Teacher Davis, please.
Okay, so I believe it can go either way, right? It can be a positive and a negative as well. In business, we talk of stakeholders, yeah? And these stakeholders have objectives. One of the stakeholders we talk about is the community. The objectives are, well, one of the objectives is that the people in the community must be employed when, let's say, there is a multinational corporation that has come in, right? These locals must get jobs. So that's one objective that they really target, and they achieve that. Because most of these companies provide jobs. On the other hand, it could be a negative, well, according to me, when the mom and pop stores run out of business because these big corporations are taking over. Right? For example, they come in and sell certain items for cheaper. Yeah? Why? Because they can afford it, economies of scale. The mom and pop stores cannot compete on that level, so they'll be out of business. So that's a negative, they're out of business. On the other hand, there's employment that's being created. So it could be either way.
That is so true.
Yes.
Yeah, right? Anyone who's got an idea on, or an additional to that one? Yeah.
For me, I think that as the world become more globalized, like different part of the world are connected, right? There's, as you said, there's pros and cons, but I really think that too much of multinational companies is not good, and too less is also not good. Because like government regulations are there to regulate how much it needs. For example, if there are too much multinational companies, there needs like a tariff or a taxation laws to protect like babies companies for them to grow, because it's really like obvious that if they don't have such regulation, multinational will win.
Definitely.
Because they have like pricing strategies, they have profits before. For example, they can push the price down to like zero profit, or even they can lose their profit in order to gain competition.
That's
It's
true.
monopoly.
Yes, that's so true. Which local businesses, or small businesses cannot do.
No, they can't afford it.
They cannot
They're
afford
just
it, right?
in babies.
Yes, because as you said, they're just babies in this particular industry, right? Anyone else?
Okay, I think that if like there are more large market, like people from those who live in local area who cannot afford to buy food and there, because due to the increase of the price, like why like people who live in local area, they can only buy the thing from the local shop. And moreover, I think it will also lead to the profit of the local shop, because like for instance, they used to have 10 to 20 customers on their daily basis. But now when the large market come, it's like decrease the customer.
Okay. So far, our tone is kind of getting into the disadvantages of having multinational companies in one country, right?
Yeah.
How about those specific positive outcomes? As Teacher Davis mentioned earlier, jobs, it provides jobs.
Yeah.
What other positive outcomes are there? Yes, Liam.
Limited outcome, like I think that the product from the big corporation is more, they believe that gooder than the local.
Quality, college-wise.
Quality.
Okay, all right.
Because they are big company, they
Mhm.
cannot lose the name.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
And also the new product.
Mhm.
Like some local market, they cannot bring the new product from every like Muslim product around the world.
Yes.
And the big corporation, they can
It's easy to begin.
bring in and the new idea.
Mm-hmm.
Even because they are big company, they have thousands of workers,
That's true.
and the idea is new every day.
Mhm.
But the local market, they just look like for which the corporation they product like this product is good,
Mhm.
and they just bring to like the same the demand as they want. They cannot
Good point.
like new the idea because
Mhm.
that is too dangerous for them.
That's true. That's true. Quite dangerous in a way that if they bring in something new and the people don't like it, they might lose their customers, right?
Yeah. There's also a perception that just because a company is big, we associate that with quality products, right? You see this all the time. A local manufacturer will be producing the best furniture,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but people won't buy from the local manufacturer because he's a local.
True.
Yeah? He's producing the best vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
They won't buy from him.
That's true.
They are local vegetables. I would rather buy foreign vegetables
Mm-hmm.
because we associate foreign with quality.
That actually makes sense. Yes. I remember when I was young, we would often buy or we would like the products that are not from our country but from
Sure.
outside of the country because they're foreign, they're new, something new. So somehow we prefer those products more than the local products. So this is where the disadvantage to the local
Yeah.
businesses take place. It's when people start leaning towards bigger companies or multinational companies because they've got better products or they've got more selection, variety of selection. Teacher Wala?
Yeah, but when I observe even from my country, I think that there was a time that we had like this big companies came to my country and everyone was really excited. But then we realized that these big companies, they are bringing the right choices for us, but it's not true that always the quality is the best.
That's it.
The local shops still have, like
The
you
best
mentioned, the
quality,
best quality. So now people are realizing that we have beautiful choices, a lot of choices. Yeah, I love to have like shopping when you have a lot of choices, but now a lot of people go back to the small like companies because they search for a good quality. So yes, we have choices, but some people will always look for good quality, and I think that those small companies, sellers, they will still have their dedicated maybe customers. They will still have those people.
So they won't necessarily run out of business.
Right.
The competition, of course, is very big, and they will lose something. But I think that the dedicated and the loyal customers, they will still come back for the quality.
Just to add on what Teacher Paula is saying, in China, for example, Baidu, Baidu,
Yeah.
it's a bigger search engine than Google. Why? Because of customer loyalty, right?
Exactly.
The locals are dedicated to their brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it can be, it can go either way. It doesn't necessarily mean if a multinational comes in, then the local businesses have to suffer. sometimes the multinationals suffer
Mhm.
because they don't understand the terrain. All right.
Yeah. But how do you think local businesses can survive with this kind of competition? How can they survive in these kinds of competition, especially if these multinational companies have variety of products, cheaper options, and just a lot more? How can small businesses possibly survive in this particular situation? Yeah,
For me, as I took like business studies before, I think that what is important is they have to take like competitiveness analysis, like that SWOT analysis, to determine whether they have strength, weakness, things like that.
Mhm.
And if they have strength that the multinational doesn't have, for
Yeah.
example, customers who value local
right,
communities,
right,
they
right.
have to pull the strength out
Mhm.
and advertise it out more.
Mhm.
If the price is the barriers for them, they have to lower the price because
Okay.
the multinational have to lower price.
Right, that's true.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they should have more varieties as well. Because it's
Okay.
important for consumers. They have to understand like consumer receive the
True.
idea of that.
True. So that means they will have to expand
Yes.
in some ways, right? Okay. How about the others? Yes, Leo.
I think because the bigger corporation they are come later than the local
Local.
market.
Yes.
And the local market they are long time already.
Mm.
And the people in that area they sometimes they believe that I used many years that nothing happened for them.
Right.
And one more thing that they are use the near us their home or the location that's
Okay, all right. Location wise. Okay.
yeah. And the bigger corporation they don't understand like the local one.
Mm-hmm.
They understand the customer like they everyday life in a many years.
Right. That makes sense a lot. You don't get that personal feeling of that personal feeling when you go to a supermarket. You don't get to talk to the cashier or to the people in the supermarket. You talk about your daily life, right? You don't get that from the supermarket. You get that from your local store, right?
Yes.
And I believe for some people, maybe not all, that's what makes them stay and be loyal to a particular local business, right?
You feel attached. You feel like a part of the family.
That's true.
And I think that, like you said, that I think that the community itself will protect the small businesses to stay
Yeah.
because they're like some of them they're even friends. We
Right.
know each other,
Right.
so there's connection already with
Mhm,
these small businesses. They are our friends, maybe even family
That's
members.
true.
So this one will also help them to survive because they have loyal customers, and even those days, like you can observe in the big supermarkets, they provide all this like plastic packages. But
Right.
local shops, they really look on the quality and like eco,
Mhm.
like organic stuffs.
Right.
They really provide like more maybe the products more like safe for
Mhm.
our environment.
That's true.
They care about the environment more than these big
Big
companies.
Right.
A lot
They don't
of
really
plastic
care. They just want the money.
packages. Yeah.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
They have a lot of choices, but yeah, the quality sometimes I think that
Mhm.
it's not really high. They
Right.
don't really care about the environment.
Mhm.
Same as
Just
maybe they
local,
still do, but I think the local
Are more aware
are
and-
more oriented into the environment.
That's true.
Providing the best quality.
Mhm.
Or
for the local community, right? Yeah. I remember just when I was young, these are the kinds of things that you cannot do when you go to big supermarkets. I would go to the store. I didn't have any money, so I'll,
I get that.
you get money, right? So we didn't have any money, so I would ask the store owner if I could get these items and I'll pay you back in 2 weeks. Right? And then they'd say yes. Okay, all right. So I would do that almost every day.
I
Sure, but still, okay, of course. But these are the kind of things that you don't get from, right, supermarkets, right? Bigger corporations. No way.
And especially the local market that's near the school,
Mhm.
like open many years.
Right.
Like when we still small and we buy every day until we
That's true. That's true. Mhm.
And then until we have a job,
Yes.
university, but
It's
we
still
still
there.
the
Yes.
like the local shop is
Mhm.
still there,
Mhm.
and they feel like we remember this.
That's true. That's true. I can totally agree to that one. Like you pass by, the owner would just chat with you, which makes it feel like even better. You feel like a family, like a part of something. And compared to going to a supermarket, you go there, you're on your own,
Yes.
right? You're on your own.
We are all friends.
You're all strangers in there, right?
I have a question. Do multinationals help in changing the culture of the local people when they come in? What do you think?
Yes, go ahead.
It don't change, but it affects everything.
Okay.
Because of the local business have to survive, so that when the big corporation they come, it might affect the wants of the consumer, so that the local business they have to change their target of how to do and work on their business.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, I also think that it changed for example, in how teenagers wear clothes and stuff. Like motivational such as Adidas or Nike's really shapes the way people start to wear Western clothes.
That's true.
More.
Yeah.
More props, more like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bigger corporation, they one thing they're very strong. They can still strong many years. Like, and especially the teenager, they using internet every day,
That's true.
and they do a new thing, new product, and because teenager they not think like the older one. Older one they just believe the thing they use like when they small. or
That's
two.
true. Yeah.
And teenager they just try.
Mhm.
If good they use, if not good they change.
Right.
Because there are many products in the
Mhm.
market.
They like to discover new things.
Yes, discovering new
Excited
things.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
new things.
So if these bigger multinational companies direct their attentions to young people, there's a possibility that they can actually win, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is that's not always the
It's
market.
not.
It's not always the market, right? It's not always the case. I'd like to go back to what Teacher Davis had mentioned earlier about culture. Not specifically culture, maybe, but more on standards of living. Yeah, standards of living. Would you like to say something? Go.
This would be the best opportunity that the life of local people would be, the lifestyle that would be more comfortable because as people can access to many products as many opportunities, and we should adapt to this.
That's true. Yes. Comfort and convenience, right? Yes. Go ahead. You want to say something?
I want to add more one advantage of having a big corporation is that I think the big company it runs the economy because it didn't do it by itself, but when the big company do something, the small business have to do something also.
Oh wow.
That's why the economy it moved by the
That is a
competition
very
and so
good
on.
point.
The
That's a-
competition is always good.
Yes,
Yes.
there's
That's-
always a
that's-
competition. Yes,
You keep your motivators to improve.
that is
Yes.
true. Because
So-
if these bigger companies just don't exert much effort, local companies or
Will
local
stay.
businesses
They'll
will stay the
make
same,
also
always
stay.
there, right?
Yes.
They won't even try even harder, right?
Very relaxed.
Yes, that's true. I'd like to go back to the standards of living, right? Say, for instance, without the local supermarket that offer cooked food, for instance, because some local, some big supermarkets they've got food courts, right? Say, for instance, 10 years ago, this big supermarket did not exist, and then you and your family would go to the local market, buy your fresh vegetables, fruits, and meat and all, and then you cook at home, you eat together, always in the house together. but because of this big supermarket that has been built recently, there's a lot of options for you. So the way of standards of living, instead of cooking and going to the market, buying your local produce and then cooking them at home, you just go to the supermarket where you can just have your food in there. You just pay, and then they'll just put it on the table, then you can eat, and then you can leave.
No washing dishes.
You don't have to wash your dishes. Yes, in some ways, right? In some ways, it's a very positive. In some ways, it's a positive change because it's more on comfortability and convenience. However,
I'm thinking it makes people lazy.
it could be, yes, it
Same
could
time.
be. Yeah, it could be.
Right.
However, the negative side is that you won't have that home cooked meal feeling whenever your parents or your mom or your dad will cook at home. You won't have that anymore. You won't have that kind of feeling. Tell me you don't have that feeling, or tell me, did you even have that kind of feeling when you eat home cooked meal? I don't know with the kids nowadays.
I think
I still have.
You still have, but yeah, but when you eat outside, you don't actually feel that, right?
Oh, it's happened to me like when in Mongkok trip. I miss my grandmom.
So that's what I mean,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I mean because of bigger companies, corporations with so many options. You can just go there and eat in any restaurants in there. You don't get that feeling anymore.
for me, like eating outside, I eating outside is some food for this delicious, but the delicious is not same like as my mom cook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, there you go.
But like when we have work, when we grow up, but my mom, our mom cannot follow anymore. And when we must eat outside more than cook at home, that is make all faster and work harder.
Right,
But
right. It's more convenient.
Even that's delicious, like the good dish, like expensive, but not easy like our mom cook every day.
I get what you mean.
There's
I get
like
what you mean.
mom is cook like specialty like for us.
That is
We can
true.
Eat it every day.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Teacher Davis, would you like to add some more?
Not really.
Okay. Anyone else would like to add? Okay. All right. So I believe we can conclude that having multinational corporations in a certain community has its own good and not so good effects on the local community and its local people. So we can always go either way. It's just up to both, I think, the stakeholders of the multinational corporations and the local community to work together in order to stay in business, right? And keep the standards as, I wouldn't say as high as possible, but at least the standards wherein everyone's comfortable and everyone thinks that it's convenient for them.
And like you said, competition is good for business.
Yes, competition is good for business. All right, okay. So thank you so much. I am Teacher Chris, and I am your moderator for this ISL podcast. And this is Teacher Davis, our co-moderator. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, I hope to see you